All I would tell you is there is a list that
Are you
is
arguing
very
that
long.
LeBron isn't making his teammates better? Is that what you're arguing?
Do you think
balance.
there's going to come a point where the arrow starts pointing at LeBron? And I only say this because
Zero.
I have listened to people defend Anthony Davis this year. I've listened or throw the arrows at Anthony Davis this year, and it was all his fault. And then it was all Frank Vogel's fault, and now it's all Russell Westbrook's fault, and now it's Frank Vogel's fault. And it's just fascinating to me. Like, make no mistake, he's running that thing. He's the GM. So, I mean, like it's on him to make this thing work. And I do think that not having
Pelinka is the GM, and Pelinka is the GM, and he's the one who I think needs to stomp his foot down and say, "We're not doing things your way, LeBron." Clutch.
Maybe so.
We're doing things my way.
Maybe so, but I mean, I don't think it's the easiest gig, and we have seen guys.
It's definitely not
that have looked. No. I'm talking about playing with LeBron, and I'm not making an excuse for Westbrook or an excuse for AD, but at some point we got to take a look because I remember years ago, people, they buried Kyrie over it, they buried Kevin Love over it. Obviously Jay Crowder once upon a time, got buried for it. I mean, it's not the easiest gig. And some of these guys have looked a lot better, like Crowder, like Kuzma, like some other guys in the league have looked better. I mean, LeBron and 4 role players, is kind of what you end up playing like in most situations. And that's the biggest problem is Russell Westbrook ever going to be able to be a guy that just plays a role, that's never been, as you said, how he has been successful. Or can he just maximize what role he does have? Because that is what you become. And I'm not so sure that there is a star player that has played with LeBron that we thought more of while they were playing with LeBron. We thought less of Kevin Love. We thought less of Kyrie. We thought less of Anthony Davis. We're thinking less of Russell Westbrook. I mean, I'm just saying it's not the easiest gig. It is a LeBron show. It is. No matter how you want to slice it. That roster is ridiculous. And yes, you could win a championship with LeBron, but sometimes I think even what LeBron desires might not even be the right thing. I think you need role players. Guys that are comfortable playing within a role around LeBron James. And, they've gone the star route. I don't know how many people we have thought much more highly of when they played with LeBron than when they didn't. And that is juxtaposed versus we thought, just say Tim Duncan, right? We thought highly of every player that played with the Spurs. And guys got paid a fortune. Gary Neal got a fortune. That guy, Jonathan Simmons or whatever his name, got a fortune. I mean, there's all kinds of guys, that were better under those circumstances. I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are people that you've thought much more highly of alongside LeBron. I think people are higher on Caruso now than they were when he was a Laker. I know they are.
Chris, here's Vernon. LeBron's playing 37 minutes a game. He's been playing center for the last month. He's averaging nearly 30 points per game. At 37 years old and age 19, LeBron James deserves no blame. Zero. Zippo.
It is a team sport, Zippo. Kevin. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. It's not about what you're doing individually. It's not.
You tell me LeBron makes his teammates better, though.
Who?
What do you mean who?
Who?
What? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. It's like everybody. All of them.
Who? Name one.
Malik Monk, the chemistry those two
Malik
have
Monk
together.
is not better this year than he was in Charlotte. What are you talking about?
He's averaging 20 points per game since Christmas.
You think Malik Monk is having a better season now than he did last year in Charlotte?
I'm just saying to you that he's playing the best basketball of his career ever since he started getting more consistent minutes when they put LeBron James at the 5. I mean, yeah.
Nobody thinks of Malik Monk as highly now as they did last year.
He's averaging 20 points per game this past month. Yes, I think people think more highly of Malik Monk. Yes, the last 12 games averaging 17.5 points per game in 31.4 minutes per game, shooting well over 40% from three. Yeah, I think people do think more highly of Malik Monk because not only
if they've watched the last week. If they haven't watched the whole season.
More like the last. No, I mean, like it's totally different. It's totally different circumstances. Like I don't even think early season is comparable to what he's been doing since Christmas. It's a totally different role and level of responsibility. Totally different. Everything's different than it was early in the year. He went from averaging 24 minutes per game to well over 30, getting way more shots. It's a completely different role than what he did early in the year. And a lot of that is partially because of LeBron James and the shot creation and the opportunities that he creates for Monk.
Okay. All I would tell you is there is a list
Are you arguing
very
that
long.
LeBron isn't making his teammates better? Is that what you're arguing?
I'm telling you that it's not the easiest gig and that more often than not, we think more highly of the players when they are in different situations than when they are with LeBron. That was true of Lonzo. That's true of Ingram. That's true of Caruso. That's true of Montrezl Harrell last year. That's true of Kuzma now. That's true of all manner of guys. It was true of Kevin Love. It was true of Kyrie Irving. It's been true of Anthony Davis. People are lower on Anthony Davis than they've ever been.
Yeah,
they're lower on Russell Westbrook than they've ever been.
That's because the expectation is so much higher when you're playing on a LeBron James team. And I'm not sure that's like necessarily true about guys like Caruso. Caruso was a meme for fans across the NBA, but for Lakers fans, they knew how great he was. I made a video 2 years ago entering the bubble about Caruso was more than an NBA meme. Here's why Alex Caruso is actually a very important rotation player for the LA Lakers. Anybody watching basketball knew how good Caruso was. Just because he's some funky looking bald white guy,
but people think more highly of him now that he is out of that situation.
And then in Chicago, he gets more opportunity, and because he's doing it without LeBron. Because it's translating to a team without LeBron. So I think that's why that's happening. I don't think that has anything to do with LeBron. LeBron and Caruso had a cosmic, connection, those two guys, with their ability to cut and play make for each other. They made each other better, Caruso and LeBron James. That's how good those two guys work together. And that's what the Lakers are missing. That's what I want from Russ. I want Russ to be like, I'm going to watch that bald white dude, Alex Caruso, and take some of that and put it in my game. That's what needs to happen for this team. They're missing the Caruso type, who's just a connector on the court, on defense with his energy.
That's right. That's my point. I do think when you play on a LeBron team, you need LeBron and guys that know how to play their role. Yes, you could have another star, but I do think that you could have LeBron and Anthony Davis and then fill it out with role players, right?
Which is why it's on Russ to evolve. You're hitting it. It's on Russ to be like, okay, I'm going to be myself in these situations, but when I'm playing with LeBron, more often than not, I gotta be different. I need to be different. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that speaks to LeBron being one of the greatest players in the history of sports. Year 19 doing what he's doing, yeah, it's on you to change. Yes, it's on you to change. Just like it was on Kevin Love, on Chris Bosh, on Dwayne Wade, all these guys from the past. Yes, LeBron James is that great that it's on you to change if you care anything at all about winning.
I mean, come on. Do you think Jay Crowder didn't care about winning? Is that what you think?
I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean?
I mean, you think Jay Crowder cared about winning? It's all that Jay Crowder's ever cared about. And
I'm not sure what you mean though. Like what about Jay Crowder?
He was horrendous in Cleveland and just run out completely. He is your consummate role player. You know what I mean? Like it's happened a lot. It's happened with a lot of guys, and that is so. I'm just saying it's not easy. I just
pulled up the number. Jay Crowder shot 33% from three during the regular season with Cleveland that year.
I understand.
I mean, it's just a poor shooting year for him. He's been more consistent the last 2 years with Phoenix, but he's still streaky. Like this year, he's shooting only 36%. He's had so many up and down years. I think Cleveland just got him on a bad year. Personally, he's always up and down.
It was difficult for the only point I'm making is it's not. It is harder to play with LeBron than it is with some other guys.
Maybe for certain types of players, it's harder. certain types, but certain types, it's easier to play with LeBron.
Yeah, bums.
I don't.
Just get out of the way and knock down the shot when they throws it to you.